It's minicamp Monday. Meghan Ottolini here from weei and Odyssey with Justin Turpin, also weei and Odyssey, and the first day of mandatory minicamp is in the books. You got to see a lot of Drake Maye today. We'll start there. He was consistent, but there just wasn't a lot on the table to really blow you away today. They got in the red zone for the first time since we've been here in OTA, so that's something notable, but otherwise the stats are gonna tell you he was extremely consistent, had a lot of completions, but the context around that will tell you this offense is still a little bit of a work in progress.
Yeah, I think I charted at 14 of 18, I think it was, and like you said, those aren't really gonna tell you much. They were taking a lot of time to get the ball out, which, you know, in the red zone especially, probably isn't a good sign. But yeah, it's an offense still in progress. It's a work in progress, and that was pretty obvious, and I thought they did get better throughout the practice session. And Drake Maye said after the practice that he's feeling better and starting to get into a rhythm with this offense, and then joked that it sucks they have to go away for 5 weeks now, after tomorrow.
Although we did find out that he's getting married in 2 weeks. So
2 weeks.
Congratulations to the nuptials upcoming for the Mayes. I will say there was one notably bad ball from Drake Maye in the competitive periods in the 11s teams period, which was an underthrown ball to Travion Henderson on the outside. Other than that, a lot of it was, this is your first time seeing this group together, and you go, yeah, that's a Josh McDaniels offense. There's
Definitely.
a lot of screens, a lot of these short, quick slants. At one point, we got to see two running backs out there at the same time, so you get to see a few little fun wrinkles from Josh. But what were your overall first impressions of what you saw from Drake in this system?
Yeah, you hit it from right there. There are a lot of screens. It's just a typical Josh McDaniels offense from what it seems like. And they love those little out routes to the tight ends as well. Just a lot of short and intermediate game, which is probably kind of a good thing for this offense. I mean, obviously there's a lot of questions around these receivers, and I will give Kyle Williams credit. He had probably the play of the day on the 50-yard pass from the pastronaut, Joshua Dobbs. But for the most part, it was a lot of short and intermediate stuff. And I think that's part of just where they're at in the offseason. Like, you're not going to be chucking the ball down the field this early in the off-season program. So yeah, everyone looks comfortable. It looks like they're getting there. Obviously still a work in progress, and that's to be expected. It's a second-year quarterback learning with a whole new offense, new head coach, and I know McDaniels has been here, but none of these guys really have been except for Kendrick Bourne. So it's a lot different. Everyone's kind of on a trajectory, and you know, they're learning stuff, and that's why a lot of it is slow. Not really a ton of 100% drills today, and again, that's just part of the minicamp.
Efton Chisholm III. I was converted on the last day of OTAs. I joined the Chizbiz. Have you joined the Chizbiz? Do you buy into it now?
I am fully on board. I'd actually be surprised if he doesn't make the team. Like,
okay.
He looks like he belongs.
So here's how I feel about Efton Chisholm III. I think that he fits in so well with the classic Patriot wide receiver, the way that he moves, the way he cuts, as you noted while we were watching together on the hill over there. He's very quick. He runs and cuts with a certain amount of power in his lower body. It's just a crowded room.
Right.
So you start looking at that room and you go, for right now, I think you would say close to definite locks would be Stefon Diggs, Pop Douglas, and Kyle Williams, because he's your new draft pick. After that, it kind of feels like anybody's game. It really does. Keishon Boutte, I think, has been getting some really high-level opportunities and been doing well with them through OTAs and in this first day of camp. But you got Kendrick Bourne, who has familiarity with the Josh McDaniels system and did really well in it, over 800 yards in his first year back in 2021, now coming back 4 years later off of an ACL injury that he was slow to come back from. And then you got Jalen Polk and Javon Baker. And are you giving up on those draft picks, so to speak, at this point already? Where can Chisholm fit in? Because even when you look at special teams, hey, could you throw that fast guy somewhere on special teams? Well, you got Marcus Jones, who's probably the best punt returner in the entire league.
Right.
So as much as I really, really like him, he's going to have to continue the pace that he's been having through OTAs in minicamp and most importantly in training camp. And we heard Drake Maye, when he was asked about the receivers, he said, man, it feels like Chiz caught 50 balls out there in OTAs.
And when they were working right in front of us here, it kind of stood out just how many bodies are in that room right now. Like, they have a lot of receivers on this roster right now that they're going to have decisions to make. And I think this is where the front office and the construction of it right now is going to be a little bit interesting, because obviously Baker and Polk are Elliott Wolf guys who was standing with Stretch, and I didn't see Cowden here today, but we saw Stretch who was standing there with Wolf.
How are they stretching? It started.
How are
they
this.
standing? Well,
Like
it started
this.
like this. Come over here. Started like this. And then it
They
moved to
just
this.
gradually drifted apart. I don't think they said a word to each other.
They were talking at the beginning.
A little bit, but we'll see. Like that's what kind of complicates it. Like you can't come in and blow. Like Polk was a second round pick. Like you're gonna come in and trade this guy away, and the guy that drafted him is still here. And they were big on this whole drafting system that Elliott Wolf had. Like, are they really gonna blow this guy out? Like I don't really know.
At this point, like we're not really supposed to talk about who lines up with who and all those intricacies. I think it is important to know in the wide receiver room who's getting opportunities with who. Because even though they're still very obviously, especially on the offensive side, in the learning portion of the offseason program, you wonder kind of like, where's the pecking order there?
Right.
It's going to be something to watch all summer. One more thing to watch from the offense, Stefon Diggs. We got to see him for the second time because he only made it out to the last day of the voluntary OTAs. He was out here today, thought he brought a ton of energy, talked a lot with his teammates, was dapping guys up. Continues to look strong when he's able to participate through the position drills and some of the, he's limited, so some of the other stuff that he's able to do, still haven't gotten to see a lot of him in the team competitive drills.
Honestly, that was one of the biggest things that stood out to me today. First of all, he looks like he's moving great. Like this is not a guy that looks like he was, 7 months removed from a torn ACL. Like he looks great. And just the the energy that he had and his communication with teammates. Like there was a couple times where he went up to the younger guys, Kyle Williams and Efton Chisholm, and just dapped them up and gave them words of encouragement, was kind of coaching them up. And he just seems like somebody that can lead this room. Like it feels like at this point of his career, and obviously CJ Stroud last year was very complimentary of him and his leadership, and feels like at this point, like he's ready to accept this role as a leader. He was going first in a lot of the individual drills too, which I thought was interesting. It's just, he's setting a tone for a young receiving core. And obviously this room was all over the place last year. Like, so having an adult in the room, and Stefon Diggs is that adult now, just setting the tone, that's a good sign.
Defensively, always a little bit tougher to take away from because there is such limited contact. I think it's safe to say that the defense is very high on themselves, which is a good thing. Like talking to Harold Landry after practice today, he is just bursting with confidence about the amount of skill that they have now. He says he feels like everybody out there has the possibility of being a playmaker. And we're still in this period where everybody's learning, but you look at just on paper the duo of Gonzo and Carlton Davis, and you even hear Drake Maye after practice say like he feels like he wants to challenge those guys and give his receivers the opportunity to go up against those guys because it is such a high level duo over there.
I mean the corners, I mean, just look at what they have right now with Christian Gonzalez and obviously Carlton Davis. Like they built a defensive team. Like that's what Mike Vrabel wanted to do. They wanted to build this team on the defensive end, and it just looks like they're fitting that. And look at Barmore and Milton Williams. Like that could be a game-changing duo there in the middle. So it's been exciting, and obviously a lot of people I think are just focused on the offense with the second-year quarterback and Drake Maye, Stefon Diggs. Everyone always gravitates towards offense, but this defense has been impressive.
As Mike Vrabel continues to tell us, it's passing camp. Like, how much can you take from it? It's passing camp, but we're going to give you all of our notes, and if you want to read even more, I'm going to be writing about Drake Maye. You'll have some good stuff on Stefon Diggs. That'll be on weei.com. Thanks for joining us.